Welcome back to TeaHouse Dives. And this is the first pour, not a review, not a recap, an invitation. Today we're asking one simple question. Who is Spooky in Love really for? Because after watching episode 1, I don't think this drama is about ghosts at all. I think it's about something much more frightening. What if the hardest part of seeing ghosts is never being able to truly connect with the living? Episode 1 begins with Yuri discovering a dead body near a reservoir. Prosecutor Gang Woo arrives at the same scene, believing the anonymous tipster might somehow be involved. The two mistake each other for the killer, exchange a few blows, and before he can get any answers, she's gone. It sounds like the beginning of a supernatural mystery. But beneath the murder investigation and the ghosts, this episode quietly introduces a story about isolation, compassion, and the fear of letting someone close. So before you decide whether Spooky in Love belongs on your watch list, let's pour our first cup. Who is this drama for? If you're looking for a fast-paced horror drama filled with jump scares, this probably isn't it. If you're expecting a romantic comedy where the ghosts exist mainly for laughs, that's not what episode 1 is setting up either. But if you enjoy stories where the supernatural becomes a way of exploring loneliness, where mysteries unfold alongside emotional healing, and where romance grows naturally out of trust instead of instant attraction, I think this drama deserves your attention. Because underneath all the ghosts, this is a story about two people who are both haunted, one by the dead, the other by the living. The real curse. The biggest surprise wasn't that Yuri sees ghosts. It was the way she treats them. She doesn't fear them. She listens to them. She comforts them. She helps them find peace. Every spirit she encounters isn't presented as a monster. They're victims whose stories were left unfinished. The real tragedy isn't the ghosts. It's her life. She wears gloves everywhere she goes. She instinctively avoids touching people. Even the smallest moments reveal someone who has learned to keep the world at arm's length. Episode 1 slowly reveals why. Years earlier, the man she loved promised he could accept everything about her. He promised to stay. But the moment he experienced her world for himself, he ran or drove off. That single moment explains almost every decision she makes in the present. She isn't distant because she lacks compassion. She's distant because she's learned what happens when people get too close. That's not a ghost story. That's a tragedy wearing a ghost story's clothes. When the living are scarier than the dead. One of my favorite ideas in this episode is that the ghosts aren't the ones hurting Yuri. The living are. Her fiance leaves. Her relatives, they treat marriage like a business transaction. Her employees misunderstand her. Everyone forms opinions about her without ever knowing the burden she carries. Ironically, the only ones who truly understand her are the spirits she's helping move on. There's something beautifully sad about that. The woman surrounded by death is also the most compassionate person in the room. The visual storytelling. One image stayed with me long after the credits rolled. The engagement sign. Welcome to our beginning. It's left outside in the rain. No dialogue, no dramatic music. The camera simply lets us watch as the rain slowly washes over it. To me, that sign becomes Yuri. Every beginning in her life seems destined to fall apart before it ever has the chance to become something lasting. Then there's Sienna Hall, the place where her engagement ended. Now surrounded by rumors that every couple connected to it eventually breaks apart. Whether the curse is real almost doesn't really matter. The hall has become a physical reminder of the pain she's never truly left behind. Even her home reflects that loneliness. She lives alone in a huge house. She keeps fish for company. She sleeps inside a small tent tucked into the darkness of a huge room. It's almost childlike, a tiny safe space inside a world that never feels safe. Those details tells us more about Yuri than any line of dialogue could. Two different kinds of justice. The relationship between our two main leads is what excites me most moving forward. Gun believes in evidence, witnesses, facts. He refuses to give up on a murder case even when the political pressure tells him to walk away. Yuri lives in a completely different world. The dead tells her what happened. She offers victims something the legal system often can't: closure. One investigates the living, the other listens to the dead. Neither can solve every mystery alone, which makes them the perfect partnership, not because they're opposites, but because each possesses something the other lacks. Why the romance already works. I love how carefully this episode builds their relationship. It isn't based on instant attraction, it's built around one repeated idea: touch. Yuri avoids it. Gunwoo unknowingly reaches for it. She refuses to offer him her hand. She offers him a baseball bat instead. It's funny until you realize why. Then episode 1 ends with the one thing she's been trying to prevent all along: a single touch. So, who is Spooky in Love for? Watch it if you enjoy character driven mysteries. Watch it if you like supernatural stories where the ghosts serve the emotions instead of the scares. Watch it if you appreciate dramas that trust visual storytelling as much as dialogue. And especially watch it if you enjoy romances built on healing rather than fantasy. This episode doesn't answer many questions. Instead, it's quietly asking one: can someone who believes they're too dangerous to love ever allow another person close enough to stay? If that's the story this drama wants to tell, I think we're in for something very special. This episode left me with one question: is Yuri really afraid of ghosts? Or is she afraid of believing that someone might finally stay? Because every ghost eventually moves on. The people she loved never did. I'd love to hear what stood out to you in episode 1. What details did you notice? What theories are you already forming? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're ready to keep diving beneath the surface, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, keep your tea warm and keep diving beneath the surface.